Hello buddy, San here, engineer, MBA, and investor. And in today's video, I want to give the breaking news of NTLA Therapeutics giving the latest press release at 7 a.m. this morning, 7 a.m. Eastern, of course. And they basically announced that they have got an FDA clearance for IND application for NTLA 2002, which is an in vivo CRISPR-based therapy specifically about the treatment of HAE, which is, of course, a disease that I have just highlighted. So why is this relevant, right? Why is this relevant? Why does this matter? Why are we in a space right now that, something just as simple as IND filing being basically FDA approved is getting this type of reaction in the market that you see on the screen? So obviously NTLA up just about 10% today and ongoing. Of course, we're midway through the day here, and the company stock is up 10%. So first you're like, well, 10% is good, but it's not that crazy, right? Until you realize that in the market everything is red. Look at this, guys. Everything is red. Everything, even Tesla is red. And they gave Tesla's down like 7%. That's because their investors did yesterday. People were a little bit disappointed, but everything is red. Yet this company, NTLA, is up almost 10%. So we go through this press release here. We take a look at here. First of all, NTLA 2002, guys, they already have some sort of data. It's already going through clinical trials right now. But that is not in the US. That is outside the US. And outside the US, the FDA has no jurisdiction on it. So it doesn't matter what the FDA does with their IND submission outside the US, because those are different regulatory bodies. This is something we've covered many times in the channel. Of course, NTLA has amazing data for NTLA 2001 and NTLA 2002. So two CRISPR successful programs for this single company. No other CRISPR company has been able to do that. Now, they're not the furthest. CRISPR Therapeutics is the furthest with Hexacell, which we've yet to get any sort of FDA approval for their submission to go commercial in Q1 of this year, which is ending basically in the next few weeks. But obviously, people are excited for that. But this is big, guys. This is big for numerous reasons. NTLA, as always, sort of, pride themselves that they are all about, treating rare diseases with CRISPR, but specifically with in vivo, right? Which no other company right now is really getting any sort of data. And I think the FDA is looking at this and said, you know what? These guys are getting great data for both their programs outside the US. There's no reason for us to deny that, and they're going further. Couple of other notes. First, people have to remind themselves that Beam 201 got an IND hold back last year over the summer. If you guys remember, in July, August, it went basically played through, I believe, October/November. The hold was taken off, but still, the fact that they were put on hold sort of alarm people that, if you have the latest and greatest technologies, does not mean the FDA is just going to give you a green light for it, right? The FDA obviously has to serve the citizens, and it doesn't really matter if you have the best technology if it's not proven safe and secure enough. So that's why this is a big news for NTLA 2002, because now, again, in vivo CRISPR, I mean, they're not using any sort of prime editors or base editors, but it doesn't matter. I mean, this company is still doing something that other companies are not doing, which is in vivo. So that's the first point. Second point, people got to remind themselves that we have another CRISPR company, Verve, with Verve 101, that's been put on hold by the FDA as well. So you guys got to remember this, because this doesn't matter, right? Now in hindsight, things look a little bit less worse. But at the time, up until this news, people were sort of figuring that maybe the FDA was putting on hold many of these CRISPR companies, and sort of, people were pending on what's happening with CTX001 or Hexacell, right? But that's not the case based on this approval here from the IND. So again, these things do matter, guys, and people got to remind themselves that the Verve 101 program is still on hold as we speak, as we make this video. Who knows what happens with that program? But nonetheless here, the CEO, John Leonard, states The FDA acceptance of our IND application initiate clinical evaluation of NTLA 2002 brings us one step closer to introducing a potential paradigm-shifting treatment for people living in hereditary angioedema, said NTLA President and CEO John Leonard. The NTLA 2002 IND clearance marks an important milestone for NTLA as we continue our track record of execution as the leader of genome editing field. We're thrilled to advance the development of NTLA 2002 in the US and are working rapidly to enroll patients in phase 2 portion of the study. We look forward to presenting additional data for first human phase 1 portion of the study later this year. Like I mentioned, they've already published data for this program, but this was outside the US. Of course, now with new enrollment, we're probably going to get more data, of course, but that's probably not going to happen till the end of this year, if not beginning of 2024. At least data from patients out of the US. But it doesn't really matter if it's out or inside the US. Obviously, it matters from the FDA eyes. But when you think of the big picture, I mean, data is data, right? Humans are humans. You're getting great data across the board there. That's just a plus everywhere. So lots of exciting things, guys. Lots of exciting things. I think NTLA is one of those companies. In my opinion, I made this statement, I think, yesterday, and I said, if you're invested in the CRISPR landscape, right? Let's just say you invest in the public market. Obviously, private markets is a separate topic here, but let's just assume you're invested in the public markets, and you don't have NTLA in your stock portfolio. I strongly believe you're doing something wrong. I think you're doing something wrong because the reason why I'm saying this is because if you're invested in the reasons that I think myself, and other people in the space are invested in, which is for science reasons, for patient data, for which company is doing the right things at the right time, executing the right things at the right time with the amazing leadership moves and so on, there is absolutely no reason for you not to invest in NTLA. I mean, I understand if you invest in CRISPR Therapeutics, of course, Beam Therapeutic, Caribou. I mean, even companies like Verve. I mean, companies like Graphite Bio, Aditas. I mean, of course, I have my own opinion on those, but I mean, I can see why you would invest in those companies because it's like the wild card factor. But for you not to be invested in TLA, I really think it would be a great shame. And I do want to express that. Again, we don't provide financial advice. This is just free education information for you to take away, take it or leave it, basically. But it's very hard for me not to express this because I think if you spend time watching these videos, if you spend time reading about CRISPR and so on, but you're not invested, and you are actually invested in one of these companies that I mentioned, but not invested in NTLA, I think you're doing something wrong. I highly advise you to reconsider that missing stock in your portfolio because I think there's something here. And I think I speak for many people in this channel when I say this. I mean, they have the technology. They have two successful CRISPR program. They're doing something that most other companies aren't doing, which is in vivo. I see no reason for you not to be invested in this company, assuming, of course, you're invested in the other CRISPR companies, like I mentioned. But nonetheless, here, we'll end this video like this. Hopefully, you guys are having a beautiful Thursday. Lots of snow here in Montreal. As always, subscribe if you're not. Like this video if you have value. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a beautiful Thursday. Thank you.